The boy Dub Deuce in the building.
All right, what up, what up, what up? It is that guy Dub, and I'm back with another video. How you guys doing at the end of the day, shout it. I'm good money. Now today, we've got two special guests in the building. You said Miss CJ Star had to spend a block back on you, boy, and you said Joshua Caesar. How you doing, everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Blessings.
Yes. How you doing? How you doing? Thanks for having us.
I'm doing great. You know what I'm saying? Just one day at a time. You said before we get everything kicked off, I want to go ahead and pay some bills. You said if you guys like this nice hat that I'm wearing right here, just follow my guy, Mr. Keep Fucking Hustling on Instagram. I'll make sure I'll link that down below. You said you can see it to Keep Fucking Hustling. I love that mantra and you said that way of thinking. You also this guy right here. This is Little Dub. He's the mascot of the show. He comes courtesy of CIA Customs. Holler at Denver Morales on Facebook. He can get you hooked up. He's not going to look as cool as Little Dub, but you said he'll get you right. You know what I'm saying? Because Little Dub's got the J's and everything. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yes,
fly out here.
it's a bad man.
You said, yes, sir. Okay. Now, you said, CJ, you said you've been a guest on the show, you said before. So you said, we're going to start with Mr. Joshua over here. You said, tell us a little bit about yourself and you said, what brings you in?
Oh, thank you for having me again. Now, my name is Joshua Caesar. Background, what brought me here, well, a few things. I remember we spoke previously about what I was doing beforehand. And now my little background is most people for the cannabis space, they have another profession. And beforehand, I was and am still a licensed funeral director and mortician, have been in the state of New York. I started that journey here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, at a funeral home called Greenwich Funeral Home. Now, I'm a jack of all trades, and so I've been interested in cannabis space and education for many reasons. I had a personal traumatic experience that transpired in my life, and I saw that, well, one, God, and then through cannabis and cannabis medicine, it helped me get through the process at that time. And being assaulted by a man known as the Maryland Cannibal and losing vision in my eye, it allowed me to, expand my knowledge on mental health awareness, safety and security, and how the progression of cannabis and medicinal properties will be able to get through people through certain circumstances and traumas as well. And so I am this co-founder and CEO of the Best Buzz Festival. And this will be taking place in Atlantic City, New Jersey, 420 weekend on the 19th, 20th, and 21st. And we invite everybody to come out here. This is going to be a 3-day event that's going to host all genres of music, from rock, country, hip hop, EDM, reggae, Latin music, a little bit of something for everybody. And we're going to have some comedians gracing the grounds, as well as some boxing events that are going to be hitting Atlantic City as well, because that's what we're a little bit known for besides the casinos and the beach. And so, we calling out for vendors and exhibitors as well for the 3 days, whether ancillary companies or not. We want you to come out. We're going to have at least 10,000 people come out each day as well. So it's going to be a good crowd. It's going to be a good opportunity for everybody to advertise their business. And we want this camaraderie to move forward and progress to the future of what Atlantic City has said they want to be the East Coast hub of cannabis. So that's what I'm doing right now, moving forward. And that's where we're at.
That's awesome right there. Now, you said we all have, you said, certain questions and you said like things that we think of when it comes to cannabis. You said now, like, I've been a truck driver for 20 years and you said we can't mess with anything, you said, dealing with that kind of thing. It's like, what is the difference between, you said, a THC and a CBD, and also why would it, you said, both of those things affect a truck driver's performance?
You repeat that?
Okay, like I said, I've been a truck driver, and I was like, first of all, we're gonna start one by one. What's the difference between cannabis and CBD?
Okay. Now, usually most people, now you're asking me a doctor question here. Now, this is where my partner, oh, I forgot to mention Dr. Bridget Cole Williams. She's going to be heading, most importantly, our doctor panel, which is going to be on the same grounds as the Best Buzz Festival. And we're going to have doctors come out and answer all these questions that you just mentioned. And as well, they're going to be talking, whether it be cardiologist, neurologist, family practitioner, OBGYN, all these professionals are going to come out and speak on the individual and particular benefits of cannabis and the breakdown and how it contributes health to the body.
Okay. Well, you said, well, I guess rephrase the question you said so we to where you can answer. It's like a lot of people deal with anxiety and stress and you said and things of that nature. You said like, are there certain like dosages people can get like because I see it all the time. Whether it's mood, I guess that's the one that's popular now that you see all over the place. And with these things, like what you said, what are some of the benefits in your opinion that people that are suffering from anxiety or pain can you say can garner from using cannabis? Hopefully, that's not too medical.
I appreciate that. Now, it was a great question. I love to give firsthand accounts and experiences as well. Now, as far as myself, going through my trauma, everybody handles and receive their cannabis intake in different manners. Some people can utilize a sativa and it might have you focus, but then on the other hand, someone else, they're anxious. For me, in going through my trauma, post-traumatic stress, I preferred the sativa or sativa dominant hybrid. And it gave me more a peace of mind and comfort when I would go in different environments. I don't partake in the high doses of THC or smoke before I work, but if I utilize a tincture or an oil, it puts me in a more relaxed state. So if I'm able to, excuse me, if I have to go speak in front of family members or those in the chapel or churches, I'm more comfortable now being around 100, 200 people, opposed to my stress and anxiety I having as well, walking in the doors if one person's in the room. So again, one, I'll contribute to my faith in God, and then also me be able to decipher what type of strain I want to utilize.
Okay. Now you said when speaking with these certain people, because there's still a taboo around the consumption of cannabis. You said like what is something like somebody that's Mr. or Mrs. Holier than thou, because we all know them. And how would you explain? You said breaking that. You said the ice. You said on that barrier because they're holier than thou because and they're like, oh my gosh, you're a terrible person because you said you smoke or you say you do that. Like, how do you break the ice and engage in that conversation?
You know what? The first thing that comes to mind is that's really a question for Dr. Bridget, and I can't wait till she comes on here because
Oh,
she's the virgin cannabis woman, period.
Yeah.
And that falls in line with what we're going to be doing. Because let me tell you something. We're going to have a section at the Best Buds Festival called the Buds of Wisdom section. Okay. We particularly advertise or speak about this place because we're going to be hosting a lot of professionals and white collars there. And even though that some of these state professionals are in cannabis related business, some of them still don't want to be seen walking by a backwoods sign or through some smoke or some vape. And it's very, very interesting because I've even heard some politicians in the area, whether city or state, ask if this was going to be something that they would have to worry about or be a concern. Now, for me personally, I come across so many, and even dealing with the levels of getting approval. And
Mhm.
the city of Atlantic City, they're all for cannabis, but there are individuals that are maybe of certain age brackets or certain cultures that might not really understand the medical benefits or have seen so many negative stigmas associated with the use of cannabis or
Mhm.
overuse of cannabis. And as I say that anything in excess can be bad for you. It can be harmful. And everything's must be in moderation as far as I'm concerned. And when I explain this to individuals, I say you might have one person uh, consuming a small amount of cannabis, and it gets them to a level where okay, they're comfortable, they're functional, and you can't even tell if they had partaken. And and it's because one of the big stimulus is the smell or the look or the eyes or you look high. And then for those who go to
Right.
church, which I go to church, but those who go to church, they say, oh, but the smoke, you over here smoking. That's one of the last things they say. And I'll say, but then that's not the only way that you have to partake. And what about the Lord? He done made the endocannabinoid system in your body. So what are we gonna say about that?
My thing has always been like, because like my experience when especially like when it comes to church, and like you said, like I try to stay away from those subjects because you said certain people, you said you can't have, just like you can't have the conversation about church with certain people, you can't have the conversation about politics with certain people.
Right, right,
That's
right.
just what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like in the Bible it says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." But
That part.
any church that I've ever dealt with has been the most judgmental place I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens. I agree.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
Yeah.
you just said, let's kick it back over to Miss CJ Star. CJ, how are you doing, my sister?
I'm doing good. And this is just my sexy face. They probably like
Mm.
her eyes chinky. This is me trying to be
And,
sexy.
and you pulling it off quite well, ma'am. I
He's so,
promise
he's so sweet. He's so sweet, man. I'm doing really good, man. I'm happy to be able to say that I know Mr. Caesar here. And he has entrusted me with kind of helping promote the event. And so when you hit me up about let's interview about it, I said, well, what better for one of them to come on, him or Dr. Bridget, to talk about it. I'm just
Mm.
kind of the bridge between it because I believe in it. I'm definitely gonna slide in there and be a part of it some kind of way. He
you. Right.
already know that. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
like,
I know that's
but,
right.
but it's a lot of good talent here in Cleveland, and I'm all about helping and finding different platforms. And I think this would be a great opportunity for some of the talent in Ohio to come to Atlantic City, and a lot of people are excited. We're thinking about getting a bus to travel, because some of them will have never been able to go from one state to another,
Mm-hmm.
So just excited to be able to say I'm a part of this event, man. This is really big, congratulations to you. This
Absolutely.
is
Now
big.
Thank
let me
you.
go ahead and get this out of the way because I'm literally, because if it seems like I'm all over the place, it's because I'm looking at my phone right in front of me. I've got another camera over here, and then my laptop's over here. So I'm like literally. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm not paying attention to y'all because I actually see y'all in two different places. So I'm just letting you know that.
It's all
Oh,
right.
okay.
You said, now, before we got on the air, Miss CJ, you said I was telling Mr. Caesar over here about the comedian Tyrone Gaines joke. You said about him being a funeral director, and he said, you better let me see it while it's warm. Which
Because I'm going to see it when it get cold.
Mm.
yeah, there you go.
See, she
Now,
knows.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
funny. That's one of my favorite
you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Now, like, since we're talking about comedy, you said like I haven't talked to you in a while, so of course I have to. You said we have to address the elephant in the room, the Cat Williams situation. what? How did you take that? And you said, what does that mean for comedy?
Um, I think it's out my pay my tax bracket because I ain't even made it there yet. Uh, and I think so. I don't know what the beef was, but a cat appears to be a man that speaks only when he has to. So he only addressed the people that came at him, and we weren't there. So that's just like in the future. I hope me and Tyrone Gaines and the Gene Miller, and some other comics like Rich Green, we can have that camaraderie, not like we gonna be beefing, but we know what happened as we was making our way up the ladder to success. Just like only Cedric and them know what happened in that ladder. So DL Hughley could comment, but I don't feel I should because I wasn't there. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel. They all are good entertainers and have played a good role in comedy. All of them, or we wouldn't be fans of their work.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So
I
I
agree.
just hope it can be worked out. And that's my politically correct way of answering it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Now, you said with you being, I'm gonna call you a veteran because you said I follow you. You saying you doing your thing out here. You said you get
Oh,
busy.
thank you. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you definitely have a. You said you are unapologetically yourself. You said you don't try to steer into anybody's lane. So I definitely got to give you your flowers because
Mm,
you are true to yourself.
thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you're very welcome. Now, when
Mm-hmm.
you go into a room and you can talk because you were actually just recently on you said the health summit, and you
Yes.
said you were just so laid back, so cool, but you said you got your point across, and I was actually in the comment section, and that double entendre you threw out there, you said you said I used to buy always, and now it just depends. Which is a double entendre, which talk about periods, but also I always, but now it depends. Yes, fire,
Thank you.
fire.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Thank you. My name is CJ Storm, here all night. And people don't believe I write. And some of it might be a gift from God. I'm not sure. But
Mm-hmm.
however it is, if I can make somebody laugh and say, hey, peeing on myself ain't that bad. Because CJ start pee on herself. We all cool.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that's going to
Right.
segue into a meme I actually saw the other day. You saying, like I said, this conversation going to be well rounded, but I'm thinking about this meme right now. It was
Yeah.
a picture of a woman and a man in the bed together, and I guess you said the man peed in the bed, and it said, "Ladies, what would you do?" And you had shockingly because I thought they were going to obliterate this meme because it's social media. But no, most women was literally sitting there saying that I would just have a conversation with him, or you said I would feel bad because what if the shoe was on the other foot? You said things
Mm-hmm.
like that, and like I swear, like because social media is so toxic. I thought this comment section was going to be the ugliest thing out there. I mean, now you saw a couple like, oh no, he's got to go, and oh no, I'm you said waking him up, kicking him out the bed, but like shockingly,
Mm.
you said most women were supportive. You just said like so like where would you fall on something like that?
It's really funny you say that. I had somebody pee on me before, not like Carisha, please, not like her. He had something going on with his penis. Like I guess he couldn't hold it, but he was too embarrassed to tell me. And so he fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like he fell asleep. And so my best friend, oh, and if he ever see this interview, I can just hear him laughing so loud because he tried to warn me that he peed on himself. That's what he grew up with us, but I never knew he peed
Mm-hmm.
on himself. So he really did pee on himself. And I was so upset, but I had a washer and dryer. So I let him wash up, let him put on some clothes. And I had to clean my mattress a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't even think I cleaned it. I think I got another one. But the moral of the story is women will be more sympathetic because we know we peeing on ourselves in our 40s. We not gonna tell you, but that's why we go get the always and the thin depend poise pads.
The damn ones.
The thin ones, baby, so you can't see it in our pants.
Mm.
You just said now. I guess what you said the opposite side of the spectrum on that. You said, Mr. Joshua, how does you said that particular scenario hit you?
She stressed the thin ones. That was very important. So, husbands, boyfriends, anybody who intend on dating a woman in their 40s, just know it might be a good gift, or you might need this. The thin ones, not the thin ones.
Don't
Right.
you come in the house with no super plus. Tumble, look what I got, babe.
Mm.
You sleeping on the couch for a week.
But like, it's me. I'm a husband, so going into the store, you said to get you said female toiletries. You said it's already an uncomfortable situation in the first place. And if I make a mistake, now I got to sleep on the couch. Like
Yeah,
really?
because you insulted me. I didn't had all your kids, and your wife done had a couple of them for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be kind to her, and her bladder things is not gonna be right no more. So if she say y'all driving and she like I gotta pee, don't say wait to the next exit. No, she gotta pee. Let her pee.
Pronto.
Let her pee, baby.
I got you.
It's gonna save your marriage. People might think it's funny unless they married and it be little simple stuff. He'll be like, Dad, for 20 years you never let me pee when I had to go. Sick of you. Now my bladder fucked up. It's over.
Oh man, the
Oh,
cat.
Gopher.
Usually, because I'm thinking when I go into the store, you said like you said the thin ones, but you said like us men, you saying like we thinking of a max protection. You said like you know what I'm saying like hey, if I get the super, you say hey, that's gonna get it all. You dig what I'm
Well,
saying?
it
Right,
depends
right,
on what fluid she's absorbing. Now, if
Mm.
it's you know, then we understand the
Yeah.
super absorbency. But if it's for leakage, leakage is a different word to an older woman.
right.
Leakage? Did you
Mhm.
just say leakage to me? And you
Ooh.
cringe. You like, oh my God, they know. I pee on myself when I giggle.
The
You said what?
giggle.
The giggle.
You said what? I guess you said I'm gonna do that. You said brings me to my next question: is squirting pee?
Yes, I've been peeing on people since the 90s. Yes.
Lord have mercy.
I've said
Lord,
that in my set. R. Kelly went to jail for that. I've been peeing on people.
dang.
Man, oh, wow, little dove, cover your ears. Like,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm just
I'm just
joking. I'm
kidding.
just joking.
You
No,
funny.
you're good. No, we're here. We're having a good time. You said,
Hey, this is an
you said,
educational affair.
I'm trying to show
it-
Caesar that I can be funny.
I'm
and
listening. I already know.
you said now, back to Mr. Caesar. You said like
Yes, sir.
you mentioned sativa. You said me as a layperson because, like I said, I've dabbled in you said marijuana. You said in my younger years. You saying, but like I said, being a truck driver and having a CDL in my pocket, I cannot partake in you saying those kind of things. So you just like, and even prior to that, I was not you said, well, you said sativa. That's your lightweight speaking Spanish to me. So like, can you explain like what that means for those of my audience who may not know?
Okay, so usually cannabis is broken down in three brackets: sativa, hybrid, indica. Um, Most would say that the sativa would be for daytime, and they would say indica for night, and the hybrid in between, depending on body chemistry, terpenes, all of the above.
Okay.
Yeah.
You, well, my next question. would be like now that a lot of states are legalizing the use of cannabis and marijuana for recreational uses and things like that. And do you think they're going to start updating the law to where, like, because we know marijuana stays in the system for upwards of 30 days. Do you think that you think the government is going to start being a little more lenient when it comes to drug testing, especially if it's marijuana?
Ooh, that's a great question. As it pertains to the government, uh, you never know with that. And a lot of times they might not advertise their agenda. And it could be for many reasons, whether good or bad. And I feel that they probably would loosen these stipulations for jobs and or getting through places of either employment, contracting, and where they say that cannabis might impose a hindrance on your functionality in operation, like you operate a vehicle. So they might not say for you that it's going to be okay, regardless, because you're behind the wheel. And safety, security is already a priority in mine. And of course, not being high and driving or drinking and driving, nevertheless. So it depends on the industry. And, I guess we'll take it from there.
Okay, you think like in contrast with that, one thing that you said, because like let's say I get pulled over for a DUI and I've been drinking or whatever. You then they say upwards when it comes to alcohol. You said in some cases it can stay in your system to use upwards of 24 hours. You saying, but like the longer it's out, the longer it's been since you've had that last drink, the less and less and less it is. You said it's like, but with like I said, with marijuana, I could have smoked yesterday, not smoked anything today. You said it like let's say something happened at work. Now I'm penalized for what I did yesterday. You said like so that particular thing like it never really made sense to me because like yes, of course it stays in your system for 30 days, but it does not gauge when the last time I used. So I think that is a flawed and broken system within itself. What do you think?
I agree. I agree. It's it's something that they're going to have to figure out um, that is fair to everyone, especially those who are medical patients and that are working. What are you going to say for them? What are you going to say for somebody who've had cancer for years and this is their only means of medicating and not at the same time debilitating their body in a negative fashion? And so, because a lot of the prescription pills, they might help with one thing, but then take away from another. And usually you don't find that same effect with cannabis.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you another. You said I guess it's gonna be another opinion question, if you will. It's like okay, because with okay, but you said we're still dealing with it now to this day. But you said when it came to COVID, now when it comes to these vaccines, the government regulated vaccines, and you said what have you. But now that the government is regulating marijuana, you said do you think people would should have the same? You said like I guess feeling kind of standoffish towards something that is government regulated because you see the people who are totally anti-vax because they don't trust the government. But then, like I said, now the government's regulating you said the sale and distribution of marijuana. You saying that who's to say that the government's not putting their own spin on certain you said strains and things like that, just like they are with these vaccines? Do you think that it can't be tampered with marijuana, or do you think you said that those people who are like anti-vax just don't have a leg to stand on either side of that argument? If that makes sense.
Can you rephrase that question? I'm sorry.
Okay. When it comes to a lot of people are anti-vax,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to COVID, because they don't trust the government because the government is regulated it and things like that. Now,
Mm-hmm.
with governments approving marijuana, you say, and the government's regulating that as well. Do you think that people that are anti-vax have a leg to stand on if they don't trust the government for vaccinations, but they'll trust the government for marijuana?
It's a it depends. It depends on how the government intends on regulating the cannabis. People still go to CVS, Walgreens, and Dwayne Reed. So, you know, I would find that there'll be mixed reviews with that. Um, People are still going to grow their own cannabis. And that was the case before we were even able to have this platform and speak about it. And so those people or cannabis enthusiasts or users would say to them, well, we were already partaking in cannabis consumption before the government was even involved. So that's not really going to stop or affect anything that we're doing.
Well, look, I'm gonna come back to you in just a second, Ms. CJ. I just want to ask this other question. Okay, you said a lot of people that you said that are dabbling with marijuana and things like that. You have such it's a lot of stuff that people are putting in these drugs when it comes to the streets. And we know marijuana is not a drug, but a lot of people are adding fentanyl to drugs and marijuana and things like that. You said like let's say okay, because I have kids, and a lot of my kids, like, most of them are teenagers. So like,
Mm-hmm.
if you were explaining to a child, you saying that like, yo, you don't know what you saying your friends might be putting in, or you don't know what you're buying. How would you have that conversation with you said with teenage children to prevent them, or I guess getting them to smarten up and not go down that road of potentially harming yourself on something that they may taking something that may be laced.
That's a great question because earlier I said too, I love um, personal examples. And there's a mentor of mine, Dr. Way, and he has his wife was a judge, and they had a child who had passed away due to something along those lines. And you know, being able to shine light in those areas is very important because that man's important to me. And everybody's child who's a parent is important to them, and vice versa. And it's rough nowadays because we already know how drugs has been, besides the cannabis. Um, but at the same time, just like you have a conversation about the birds and bees with your child, you still have to have certain conversations with your children, especially in this generation. You gotta let them know what's going on, or they're going to be lost in this world, and they have to be aware of everything that's taking place in their life around them, whether they're friends or not. So I would, because my daughter's not of age yet. She's 6, and but when that time comes, or when I'm told by the Most High that I need to inform my child about drug use or cannabis use, or when she starts noticing and realizing what I'm dealing with, that I have to tell her. And this is the way that we should go about it. Let's study this. Let's read this together. Let's look at these videos on YouTube. Let's talk to Dr. Bridget. We got one of the best people in the world to have this conversation with. She's a woman and a woman of color. So then she can look up at her and say, oh my gosh, she's a doctor. My daughter already is talking about being a doctor. So things of that nature, that's the route that I would take personally. And, you know, scientists, and there's ways to test product. And also, like, even a personal test, there's a COVID test, right? We end up through COVID. I was a film director, so I was literally, first blessed to make it out. 1, 2, I was able to witness truths and facts that really transpired that most people didn't know if it was real or not. I was in New York, the heart of it. And I was picking up 10 people a day. And so with that understanding of life and seriousness and death. Um, I feel that there is ways to test the cannabis when we get it home, and we won't have to worry if there's anything excess outside of what's supposed to be there. THC, CBD, if we know exactly what strands that the government do. If the government turned taboo on us and what was the name of that movie? When they wanted, it was time for everybody to kill each other. At a certain time, uh, don't panic.
Oh,
Um, you know what I'm talking about, CJ.
Bird.
the
You know what I'm talking
purge.
about, CJ.
The purge.
The purge. Thank you, CJ. Thank you. So if the government turns purge on us and say, here, take this, we can have something to test our cannabis and say, oh, this is yay or nay. I'm already growing this in the corner here. Same strain. And so why is this? And then we can Google whatever excess chemical, whatever that you say is possible that they can put in our cannabis is there or not, basically.
Right.
This is heavy.
Yeah. You said, all right, Miss CJ, you said like same question when it comes to you said having that conversation with children because like I said, one thing I love to do on this platform you said is teach children. You said
Right.
like because I want children to take something from every conversation that I have. You said to take it because wait to where I just don't sound like oh pops you don't want you said you just trying to you said keep us from having fun, but you said no if somebody else says it you assholes might listen. So so
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically want to know how I would tell this generation on how did I handle my as me being a parent.
both.
Because they was doing it back when he was growing up. I might have did something a little different that parents wouldn't smile upon, but you have to know what kind of child you have. So, and also he was in a situation where he was had to be put in drug rehab at like 12 years old. So if all you doing is marijuana, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Mm-hmm.
depends on the type of child you have. You got to really be thankful. It's going to be some people that'll leave this earth without ever having a child being addicted to anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all have different. So for me, my story is a little different, and people could be judgmental, but they also wasn't given the child that I was given.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's definitely you said an alternative you said perspective you said to because you said like a lot of people think everything's black and white cut and dry
Yeah.
but you said when you just said it depends on the type of child you have you're absolutely right because
Mhm.
you said I could be like I said I'm a truck driver you said and I'm mainly driven 10 and 13 speed trucks now
Mhm.
you said like I can drive an 18 speed truck. But you think like that's not what I'm used to. So it'd be a a different scenario. I have to learn as I go. So that right there was also another bar, by the way. I'm saying so. You doing your thing over there.
Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you.
Okay,
As usual, as usual.
okay. Now you mentioned you said it's gonna be in Jersey. Now you said like I gotta give a big shout out to you. Said my sister Miss Slim Goody model from New Jersey. She does a lot of things in the city. You said in New Jersey and in New York. You said so I definitely want to. And this woman I'm trying to tell you is a marketing genius. You said like all all day, all night, all day, all night. She is promotion, promotion, promotion. So like with something like what you guys got going on, I definitely want to tap her in with y'all. You said so like because a mouthpiece. Oh, she's a beautiful woman, and she knows how to promote, promote, promote. So I definitely want to you said get you guys tapped in. You said so. You said so
Okay.
get some things moving. You said like I'm all about networking and you said
Yeah,
pulling people together. So you know what I mean
Appreciate it.
that's definitely
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
absolutely.
not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, now how did you come up with the concept for this event? And you said How important is this event to you, Mr. Josh?
Oh man, this is that's a oh, you didn't try to punch me in the gut.
Mm.
I
He's a great interviewer.
I oh see look, I thought you came through the screen. Something just made a loud noise. Look, let me tell you something. Is that deep? Is that important to me? I put everything into this, man. I give honor to God for me being alive to be able to have this conversation. One, two, I done had a rough 12 years coming off of the situation I expressed. And it was not easy at all whatsoever. And you know, again, like I said before, going through my traumas and then having an experience with the cannabis. And when Atlantic City said they wanted to be the East Coast hub of cannabis, when my partner and I were already had the plans and conversations with people that we needed to, as far as opening the dispensary and consumption lounge within the year. And when they said this in 23, they said, oh, this is the time right now. And this 420 was open, it was available, and we jumped on it the 19th, 20th, and 21st. And again, this is the Best Buzz Festival. I come with the Best Buzz Festival. Why? I'm glad you asked. The Best Buzz Festival is not only everybody thinking they have the best bud oil tincture, like I said before, and it's the camaraderie, it's the friendship, it's the music, it's the relationships built and the progressive moving forward, and how we can educate the masses through the flower and also through education from the state and showing people that white collar officials can come out and have a professional conversation about something that's been so street or taboo or illicit and with no benefits to make most people think negative in the first place. So that's what we're here to do. And why not do it in a place like Atlantic City Tourist Town? I call Baby Vegas. And, pretty much what they can do in Vegas, as long as law permits, granted, they would like to do or can do in Atlantic City. So, Vegas already has a lot going on with the dispensaries, playing Hollywood and, Hardin, ranked #1 dispensary in Vegas this past year. So we're building our own name, so to speak, and we want to do it in the right way that's pleasing to everyone, and just want everybody to come out and enjoy themselves. All Giants music, so you have no excuse. You got no excuse. You gotta come out.
You said, now I'm gonna ask this real quick. You said, well, you see a lot of celebrities jumping in this cannabis game. Do you have any celebrities that you have lined up? You said that you guys are either involved in working with, or plan to work with in the future.
Oh, absolutely. We have a handful of entertainers that everybody is pretty much aware of. Due to how things are set up right now with legal, I can't mention that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the smoke culture, it would be some of your top artists that everybody knows. And as far as even if they're not in the smoke culture, at least one person probably per genre, everybody will know. And again, we're in Atlantic City, so we got to be versatile. And Best Buzz Festival is for everyone.
Okay, you said now, in your personal opinion, you said it's like, would do you prefer the smoke or like a gummy style?
Uh, I prefer more of an intake on a not a gummy side, um, because for me, it takes too long for them to kick in, and you know Dr. Bridget will be another one to answer this about the stacking. And she's excellent in explaining that. And, after, if you don't feel, some don't feel that gummy or whatever edible that you're taking, and then you take something else, and by the time it kicks in, oh man, you probably over the level that you expected or wanted to be, and actually, like, might be the people that accidentally at times give the cannabis users a bad name, because then they'll say, oh, look at them, they all high, falling asleep. they ain't functional. Look at them, looking like they on drugs or something. And they ready to go to sleep. They might have had a little bit extra indica, but they didn't know the way. But this is why we're having this education. This is why we're bringing it out. So it's not just, we're gonna have podcasts and these type of situations at the festival as well. So friends, family, community can come out, ask questions, get feedback, get a little bit better understanding. And it starts a little by little. Nothing's ever overnight.
Well, I definitely, you said we gave Miss CJ her flowers. I definitely got to give her your flowers because at the end of the day, you could have came on here and just, I'm straight sure you could have talked out of your ass and just made some shit up. The fact is, when you say you don't necessarily know, you said the full spectrum of the answer that you're trying to portray. You let me know that, and I definitely appreciate that. You said I definitely appreciate it. So I got to give you your flowers for that. And we definitely said got to have Dr. Bridget on here because, like I said, me as a layperson, when it comes to this particular thing, but I'm also interested because I like perspectives, which is why I started this platform. I wanted to talk to kids. I wanted to teach, and I wanted to have the conversation. And you said, and and see different perspectives. So, like I said, I got to give you your flowers, brother. You know what I'm saying? Just take a moment for you.
Man, listen, y'all all right. I appreciate you, brother, and you too, CJ. I'm all right with that. But I do appreciate you bringing that up, and it's real, recognized, real, and honesty. And I'm a man of, you got to give credit where credit's due, right or wrong, whether you like them or not. It's just fair, And that's again, you're absolutely for Dr. Bridget, even CBD, THC, I'm still gonna leave that to her. Whether it's psychoactive or not, I want her to describe that. And she's my partner. And that's how I am with all my brothers and sisters. Best Buzz Festival. I'm not gonna step on anybody's toes. And even if they brought me somewhere, vice versa, I expect them to handle the situation accordingly. And so if something was to transpire when I wasn't there, I know whether or not to believe it, because I know the rapport that I set in the foundation that's laid. So thank you again.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Now, like I said, you said when you said that you said certain things were left to Dr. Bridget, is because I don't write down questions. I don't do any prep work before my interviews or anything like that. I just go off the vibe of you said the conversation. I feel like to me, like when you do that, it's a more genuine conversation. It's not like you said 1 and 2 and 3 and like that's goofy to me. I can't do that. That's,
right.
You said so. I guess my next question would be: do you think? Which, like I said, I'm prefacing my questions because, cause I know. Go ahead, Miss CJ.
Oh no, I was moving my light because it's in my eyes.
Okay, I saw you raise your hand. I'm like,
I was trying to move it. I'm trying to be subtle. I'm like, dog, I'm sorry.
You talking about light in the eyes? We gotta watch her. She ain't falling out.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, man. You just, but in your opinion, it's like, can you get too high?
You asking me?
Yes. I don't. That's why you said, because I know you said certain things are left to Dr. Bridget. I said, in your opinion, do you think
that's a great question? In your opinion, absolutely. Yes. It depends on what you mean by that. To be clear, as far as an overdose in comparison to heroin or cocaine or something else of that nature, of that level, No, it's not the same. You might fall asleep. You might be maybe a little lethargic, um, read slow, but that's it's not going to kill you. And nobody's been known, at least I know. And Dr. Bridget again, it's medical. See, where's she at? So,
Dr. Bridget,
Paging Dr. Bridget. Paging Dr.
we
Bridget.
need you in here, man. 'Cause I'm
CJ,
like,
call her. Mm-hmm.
I'm on the phone. No.
You said now, you said, Miss CJ, you said like being in the world of comedy, you said you deal with a lot of comedians who partake in cannabis. You
Yeah.
said
Yes.
it's like, what is your experience dealing with you said like people in the uses of cannabis? Because I'm pretty sure you've seen or been around people who are on the edibles, who you said or on
Mm-hmm.
only vape or want to roll a blunt. You said it's like in your opinion, what you said, what's the better intake for CJ Star?
I think it's funny because part of my set is my edible kicked in. And
Mm.
then it makes me mad because then I see other comics do it and I'll be like, we wasn't even doing that. Because what had happened was back in 2020, my edible did kick in on stage. And I already have ADHD, so I can start something and will forget because my mind is just moving so fast. So, see, I even touched on a condition that a lot of us have. We didn't call it ADHD back then. No, we just got smacked or go outside and play and burn it off.
You were talking back and being hard headed. That
It's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, I don't partake in anything before I do my set, which people really don't believe, but I don't because I'm already turned up. So for me, it's the opposite. I get sluggish even if I drink. I'm ready to go to sleep because my personality is naturally on 20. You can give me a mic right now and I'm gonna turn straight up like it's 1,000 people in this one room and it's just me. Cause that's just who I naturally am. So for me, a drug will make me go to sleep. So that's how I know green is as far as I'll go in color. I ain't going no farther than that.
nothing wrong with that.
I hope I explained that good.
Oh, I got it. I definitely got it. You said now. You said we got a few more minutes before we get up out of here. So you said like being in the comedy world is there's politics to everything. You said like like give us some of the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to being in comedy.
Oh, I mean, I think in any kind of sport, because you could look at entertainment as a sport too. You just working out different kind of muscles, which is mostly your brain because you got to be witty and you got to be able to, you got to be witty and catch somebody's attention and make them laugh and feel something all at the same time. That's really not easy like people think, right? So whenever you're in a sport, it's going to be competitors. And I think we need to understand that it's always going to be somebody that's going to watch your style and think that they can do it better than you and put a little twist to it. Some people might just take your style because they have a bigger platform. You know what I mean? So it's good and bad in anything we do, even in church. You see what I'm saying? So the same bad and good that is in the pulpit, I could say the same for the comedy world. You see what I'm saying? It's just we just changing the narrative. So as long as you got people competing for the same common goal, it's always gonna be grind and dirt. And unfortunately, for women, it's just a little bit more worse. Especially a woman and myself because some of my content is vulgar. But I also understand that there's a time and a place for that. But that's just what I like to do. That's just the crowd that I'm comfortable with relating to. We have comics that will never talk vulgar and have wonderful careers. But for me, you know what I mean? So um, it just depends on what level we talking about the politics too. because somebody might not want to get on the improv stage. They might want to do juke joints their whole career. You see what I'm saying?
Now, absolutely. Now, how do you personally keep it professional? Because like because you just mentioned with certain people will take you said what's in your set and try to just cross that particular line with you,
Uh-huh.
and then so how do you navigate that bridge of keeping it professional, checking somebody, but still not burning a bridge?
It's all about the way you carry yourself. And I can honestly say, today I can walk in a room full of my peers, even if it's some peers from North Carolina. And because I talk vulgar, you would think I was a nun. Because they like, hey, CJ Star. They not being inappropriate to me. Because once I get off the stage, I'm Charlotte again. CJ Star is a character. And CJ Star, and I might be living through her because I might be saying some things that CJ Star only can say. But the bottom line is, it's the way I conduct myself once I get off the stage. And it's how I conduct myself as a businesswoman, and they understand that
Mm-hmm.
because I have met certain goals, even helping them get on stages where they understand that if I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna be there at 5, I'm gonna be there at 5, and we're gonna get this filmed, and then I'm going home, and in 2 months it's gonna be on TV, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the difference. They understand that CJ Star is a character.
Amen to that. Now, before we get
Mm-hmm.
up out of there, Miss CJ, you said give them your social media contact information, how they can follow you, and what events you have coming up.
Okay, I'm excited to say I finally got on Tubi, y'all. So,
Hey, right.
so yeah. So my mentor, Dennis Cash, he actually took me under his wing, and we've been working on a project called "You See Me" comedy series, which is a spinoff of his show, the R&B Legend Awards. And so he honors local and talent, or talent from the older generations, right? And some newer now because we got a new one coming out in May. And just give them their flowers or whatnot. And so he wanted to do something in the comedy realm, but of course at a different level, to help up and coming comics like myself have a platform where a lot of bookings you can't get because they can't see any of your work. Well, I provide a platform where we're filming you now, that we're on Sheen TV already. And so I have 4 episodes on Sheen TV. And now I finally made it on Tubi, and it'll be Amazon Prime and stuff like that. So I wear many hats. I'm an entertainer, but I really want to be like behind the scenes too. So like a Regina King, but in the comedy realm, right? I want to do it all. And so that's just pretty much it. Go on my Instagram and Facebook pages for all of the projects that I have coming forth. But most importantly, with my guy that's sitting next to me, right? That's the whole reason why we doing this, so we can let Atlantic City know that Ohio is coming. We coming to invade and support, and we believe in the cause, and we want to be a part.
All right
Absolutely.
now.
You said that was you said a hell of a closing. Now,
It
Thank you.
Mr.
sure
Caesar,
was. Sure
you said
was. It was so
right.
serious. I thought it was an announcement at a funeral.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Mm,
You had your attention.
sure
This,
did. And that
he's the
you were
announcement.
already on point with it. That's exactly where I was going.
Thank you so
Hmm.
much.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Caesar, you said let everybody know the date. You said and also how to get in contact with you so they can follow all the way up to the event.
All right. Again, the Best Buzz Festival, April 19th, 20th, 21st, Atlantic City, New Jersey, 420 weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun, all genres of music. We're going to have information up very shortly. Due to Atlantic City saying that before approval, we're not allowed to advertise or promote. So now, after recent approval and things but getting put together, we're now able to advertise, and we will see it up as far as bestbuzzfestival.com. It'll be through Amsterdam CAC on Instagram as well. Dr. Bridget through her, also CJ. Hopefully now you, that guy Dub, and everybody else who's listening and is tuning into this. We just want you to come out. This is going to be a wonderful, joyous occasion. First time that the law has permitted. And so we can come out here in peace. And, you know, Best Buzz Festival, the rock concert might end. And then there was an EDM or hip hop over there. And then the crowds intertwined some ways, shape, or form. And conversations are had with an individual that you might not have had a conversation with any other day. So, but this is what we want. This is what we want. So I want y'all to be a part of that. And this is a part of just changing lives and to have our children think differently about others, because we're coming on the time that we're going to need everybody. So long as y'all thinking right and thinking accordingly, then who cares what you look like? You a best bud. Come here. Let's stick together and let's make this happen. That's it.
Absolutely. Yo, quick question before we get up out of here. Is Lil Dub invited?
Come on now. Come on now. You don't ask me no type of questions. He over here playing. He in there punched me in the stomach one time earlier. And now he want to come from my neck like the brother don't got a ticket in the position waiting for him.
Like I said, Lil Dub's a character. You saying like he's a character now. He's a sneaky one. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, go ahead.
Now, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. If you have whatever your platform, again, ancillary companies, cannabis or not, there's music, there's education, there's cannabis. Absolutely. There's a section of cannabis for educators that don't want to be seen with the cannabis. Those who just wanted to hear about it. They don't have to be around a whole bunch of smoke and a whole bunch of backgrounds of Cheech and Chong possibly, or a Backwoods or a Raw or a Blazy Susan, who knows? But we're not going to make anyone feel out of place or uncomfortable. And so it's going to be a portion or section for everyone.
Absolutely. Now, with that being said, if you guys like this video, make sure you smash that like button, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss another video. Now, without further ado, I love you, Lil Dub loves you, CJ Star loves you, Mr. Ceasar loves you. We out of here, man. Peace.
Blessings.
The boy Dub Deuce in the building.